return home having secured their third consecutive minor premiership, along with their 15th straight win. Tonight they once again face the Melbourne Tigers, who on Sunday showed they were more than capable of going toe-to-toe with the defending champs and need a win to stay in the mix for the playoffs. It's the last home game of the regular season for the Sky City New Zealand Breakers, and they open round 23 with their encounter against the Melbourne Tigers. As to be expected, the fans have turned out and fought another sellout crowd at the North Shore Event Centre to show their support for the Breakers. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Katsanos, once again joined by Tall Black Casey Frank. And Casey, after Sunday, the Breakers secured their third minor premiership in a row. And what an achievement for any professional side and any sport to be so consistent at the highest level for such a long period of time.
Well, it is a high achievement for sure. And when the word you mentioned there, consistency, is the key to it. To be able to do it not once, not twice, but 3 consecutive seasons is a fantastic testament to not just the coaching, but the players, the entire organization. And when to win 3 championships in a row or minor premierships in a row, it's what it has to be. It has to be top to bottom effort, and that's what it is for the Breakers. Casey,
Melbourne arrive in Auckland. They must be full of confidence. They showed so much resolve on Sunday to be down 21 points at the split. 53-32 was the score. A lot of people would have thought it was done and dusted, including the Breakers probably, and then came back, levelled it up in the fourth quarter and almost snatched the victory.
Yeah, well, this is a team playing with a lot of confidence and playing for their playoff lives. So even though they were down 20 points, they were still fighting and scrapping to get back into it. And they knew they thought they had a chance to win. Even though they were down 2 imports, without 2 imports, they still had a chance, fighting all the way back. Very impressive effort from a team that was a little undermanned.
And we would like to thank you for all your comments last week. Some fantastic participation. Look, keep it coming. We would like you to join the conversation. The handle is @SkySportNZ, the hashtag NZ Breakers, and we've got some great games coming up in round 23 of the competition. The Breakers up against the Tigers tonight. Then Friday night, this has huge implications for who will go through to the playoffs. The Hawks up against the Sydney Kings. That's 11:30 p.m. on Sky Sport 2. And the Taipans up against the 36ers. Then Sunday, it's another big game for the Tigers. They take on the boys from Townsville. That's Sky Sport 3 at 3 p.m. and Perth take on the Taipans. Having a look at the table, this is a confirmation that the Breakers have secured the minor premiership. Perth have just got a couple of games to go. Can't touch the Breakers. They have sewn things up, but this is where it gets really interesting. You've got the Hawks, Sydney, Melbourne and Cairns. Those 4 sides, Casey Frank, 4 doesn't go into 2. And at the moment, Melbourne, with a couple of extra games on everyone, so perhaps, and you might disagree, are things in their favour?
Well, I think if you have less games to play, you're probably in better shape. With more games to play, a lot more things could go wrong. But the beautiful thing about it is each team controls its own destiny. Whichever team gets the wins and wins the most games in this last weekend, or they're going to get the victory overall, and they're going to earn their way in the playoffs. And you cannot ask for more than that coming into the last weekend of the season.
Have you got a sneaky suspicion?
Do I have a sneaky suspicion?
Yeah, I just thought I'd chuck that at you. Yeah.
Oh, thinking about it, most of the season, the way Kansas is playing down the stretch here, I really like the way they're playing, but they're behind the 8 ball. If I had to pick somebody, I think I'm going to go with Cairns Taipans. I think they're going to do it.
Okay, we'll see if it comes to an eventuality. Well, if we have a look at the Melbourne Tigers team list, one big omission, one big loss for the Tigers with point guard Johnny Flynn out with a foot issue. Also some question marks over Seth Scott prior to tip-off. However, featuring against the Breakers on Sunday were Nate Tomlinson, 9 assists for him. Chris Goulding, he picked up 23 points, and co-captain Matt Burston, 16 points and 9 rebounds. Well, after their performance on Sunday, Tigers coach Chris Anstey was confident they can cause the upset tonight against the Breakers. He's downstairs with Andrew Mulligan.
Great second half last Sunday against the Breakers. What do you need to beat them?
We need another one of those second halves, or we need 2 of those second halves. Look, New Zealand are obviously the best team in this thing. They got out, got some easy baskets in transition and really blew out the game in Melbourne a few days ago. So we need to limit our mistakes. We need to get back in defensive transition, and we need to try to get some easy ones against them too. But they're so well structured. We need to mix things up a little bit defensively, give them some different looks, and try to play to our strengths and not theirs.
There's quite a few teams fighting for that 3rd and 4th spot in the playoffs. What do you guys have to do tonight after this game?
We've got 3 games, 2 against Townsville and 1 against Cairns. So obviously we don't look past tonight with regard to results, but said to a couple of the New Zealand boys, it's often good to go into a finals not on a big win streak. So we'd like to think that us winning tonight would be mutually beneficial.
And of course, no Johnny Flynn tonight. How does that make life difficult for you?
Oh, look, he's obviously a quality point guard and been playing 35 minutes a game. So we got to look at the group last week with Nate Tomlinson running the point. thought he did a great job. Made a few turnovers, but yeah, it was the most extended minutes he'd played all year. So we look a little bit different. We're probably more structured. We lose a bit of scoring from Johnny, but it's almost we need to make that up in, throughout the rest of the team. It's not just going to be one guy. We need to get that ball moving around, step up and knock down open shots and lock down on the defensive end.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thanks very much.
Cool.
I like that. Nice touch. Mutually beneficial. We see if it does happen for the Melbourne Tigers. Firing for them, though, Casey, the last couple of weeks. Chris Goulding, over 20 points the last 2 games.
Well, he's a high-volume scorer, but to me, his real talent lies in his versatility. He has the ability to handle the basketball. He can distribute as a playmaker, and he can really score it from both inside and from out beyond the yard. So when he's really going on all cylinders, he's a tough player to stop. But if he could just find a little bit more efficiency in his game, I think it would be really beneficial to the Tigers.
And it's interesting, his points per game average has gone up quite considerably since last year. 3 points on average.
Well, he's starting to get into his own as a player. He's getting past that early stage where you're not quite as experienced, but as you go around the league a couple times, you get a little bit more of that experience, and he really does change your game.
And Casey, a touching moment tonight at the North Shore Event Centre for Dylan Boucher. It's his last game here. As we know, he retires at the end of the season, and the academy players are putting on a rousing haka.
Well, rousing. Some of the guys are pretty rousing. A couple others, but maybe not used to the haka quite so. But what a great honor for the young guys, the next generation of breakers coming up, to get out there and be in front of Dylan Boucher, giving him that love, showing him how much they respect him. It really is a fantastic moment for Dylan.
He did make a comment to us earlier on this evening that he's surprised how fast the season has just crept up on him, like towards the end.
Well, as much as you think you may be ready for retirement, as much as you prepared yourself mentally and for your career after basketball, you're never really ready when the day comes upon you. And the closer it gets, it's got to be frightening for him to a bit. You're not ready for it. These are guys that he's played with not only for the Breakers for 10 years, but some guys for his entire life. There's a lot of that around. And so it's a tough thing to let go of as an athlete and as a person.
Well, in terms of the Breakers roster, Will Hudson's still out. They were hoping to have him back for this game. They reckon another couple of weeks for him. Also, CJ Bruton, not at 100% as he battles with an ear infection. That saw him leave halfway through Thursday's game. Picking up the player of the week last week for his efforts in round 22 was the Chief, Alex Pledger. Had a double-double v Melbourne. Daryl Corletto top scored for the Breakers in that match with 20 points against his old club. Bet you he loved every minute of it too. And Cedric Jackson once again stuffed the stats, 13 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Well, Coach, Andre Lamanis was absent from training last night, undergoing an interview for the Boomers coaching role. Will he give anything away to Andrew Mulligan?
You played a couple of desperate teams clinging to their playoff hopes, and once again you meet the Melbourne Tigers, and they were great in the second half. What adjustments have you made in between Sunday's game and tonight?
Yeah, as always, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to go through what happens in the playoffs. You play, you make adjustments and go. Play them again, and certainly there's some defensive things that we can do a little bit better. I thought our scouting was off a little bit on Sunday. Our attention to the scout wasn't where it needed to be, and we can make those adjustments. Obviously, you look at how they play defensively as well, and hopefully we'll come up with some ways to attack the way they defend us.
Secure the top spot for the playoffs. You've got Perth next week. Obviously got the Tigers tonight. You try not to make sure you button off like you have the last 2 postseasons where you got caught out in game 1.
Yeah, for us, it's nothing changes really. It's our whole motto is we need to get better today, and that's true today, and it will be tomorrow as well. And so it's a continual improvement process for us, and we need to keep a certain mindset, an aggressive mindset, getting ready for playoffs.
What's the official line with the Boomers job? How was the trip yesterday?
Yeah, I mean that process will take care of itself. What happens. Right now, I'm focused solely on the Breakers and trying to get this win tonight.
Well said. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's so Lamanis-esque. Doesn't give anything away, that man. Well, the Chief, player of the week, double-double. He is our key player for the Breakers tonight. What a fantastic performance in round 22.
And most impressive for Alex Pledger was he did it in over 30 minutes. He hasn't played those kind of minutes very often this season, but he's had to in the absence of Hudson. Especially on the defensive end of the floor, this guy's very important for the Breakers.
Casey, final thoughts, which ways are going tonight?
Well, the Breakers are just playing too well. 16 in a row, going for 17. Fantastic effort. I think they're going to get it by about 10 points.
All right, thank you very much, Casey. Well, the last 2 games have been absolute thrillers. Will the Breakers once again tease their fans, the IINet NBL minor premiers, as they go for win number 16 in a row? Conversely, the upset tonight would do the Tigers' playoff chances a huge help as they look to return to their former glory. Calling tonight's game once again, it's a warm welcome to Andrew Mulligan.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Yes, tonight will be a very interesting game. Another desperate team at the North Shore Event Centre in the form of the Melbourne Tigers, and the New Zealand Breakers have locked up that #1 spot. The referees for tonight will be Vaughan Mabry, Chris Reid and Matt Beattie. Tonight they will have their hands full. Right, let's have a look at the starting five of the Melbourne Tigers. No Johnny Flynn again, as you heard at the top of the broadcast. Nate Tomlinson has the responsibilities of running the point, and he did an admirable job, albeit a tough one in the first half. But second half, the Melbourne Tigers were great, and they have a big front line of Greer, Ballinger and Burston. To the breakers, Alex Pledger was the player of the round in round 22. He finished with a total of 31 points on 63% shooting, 17 rebounds and 3 blocks across 2 games. And Tom Abercrombie has had a slow starting in the last couple of games as well. So Abercrombie looking for field goals in this game. And we're about to get underway at the North Shore Event Centre. The last time for the 2013 IANA NBL season for the Breakers. It will be the Breakers who will defend first up as the Tigers, with the benefit of a wayward tip.
Yeah, it's tough to figure out where everybody's going to be when you're just jumping in the air, smacking at it.
Nate Tomlinson, big job tonight running the point for the Tigers. Jackson on him. As Goulding's curling. Gives it to Matty Burston, who goes up and finishes it. Chris Goulding got bailed out there by Burston.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball somewhere, throw it to Matt Burston, because he has fantastic hands for a big fella. Always just comes in there just like he's wearing gloves.
Tigers in an early zone, looking to disrupt the Breakers. They prefer man, but they're going upstairs to Tom Abercrombie.
Well, so much attention being paid to the Breakers' three-point shooting, but you got to worry about those cutters as well.
No problems with the zone on that possession. Fireworks already early in the first quarter for the Breakers. Crowds into it early as well. Daryl Corletto ties up Chris Goulding, who goes down to the floor.
Oh, that was an impressive spin move there. It looked like a stuntman in a movie with that spin off of that hold. Here we see that lob to Thomas Abercrombie. Just too much attention on the strong side, leaving Thomas Abercrombie to cut in on the weak side and fly above everybody for the slam.
5 on the shot clock for the Tigers. Tomlinson. To Greer. 3 contested. And it goes for Tommy Greer.
With this nothing left on the clock, gets it up and in over Thomas Abercrombie. Impressive shot.
Vacona to Abercrombie. Getting him touches early. A little off on the 3, but it's Vacona cleaning up the mess, and Greer will pick up the personal foul on the baseline.
Well, the New Zealand Breakers, there are only 2 guys on the offensive glass, but those 2, and thankfully for them, were Alex Pledger and Mika Vacona. Both got a hand on it before Mika Vacona corralled it. And with only a minute and 10 gone, already getting the offensive rebounds, not what the Tigers want to see.
And Tom Abercrombie, he's in a bit of a shooting slump at the moment. He's only averaged 1 or 2 field goals in the last couple of games, getting most of his points at the charity stripe. Pledger, well, all of them actually, Casey. Pledger fouled in the post.
Yeah, 2 for his last 18. Not the best shooting before he came into tonight's game, but he's 1 for 2 tonight, so he's already on the up and up. Makes it a lot easier when the dunks, though.
Back inside to Pledger. Bursting on him. Can't get the roll.
Excellent positional defense by Matt Burston there, staying on his feet, forcing Alex Pledger to go to his offhand.
Ballinger drives hard and can't get the layup, but Burston is there to clean it up, and he has 4 early points for the Tigers.
Well, coming back from that almost double-double just a few days ago, he's looking really locked in right now, especially on the offensive glass.
Jackson penetrates and kicks it out to Corletto, who dials in a 3.
Well, there's a guy who has not seen a shooting slump in quite some time. Fantastic from beyond the arc lately.
Burston with the right-hand dunk. 6 points for Matt Burston.
Well, secondary transition. Matt Burston trailing the play. He actually inbounded the ball, was still able to get down and get the slam in transition.
Nobody picked him up as Jackson is fouled by Tomlinson. And he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, big ass for Nate Tomlinson tonight. Once again, having to guard Cedric Jackson. Going to play a lot of minutes out there for the rookie against the premier point guard in the league. And there we see that pass by Adam Ballinger. He catches in the paint, a little too much attention. And Matt Burston gets the easy, light dunk just over the rim. Nice of him to go easy on the rim.
Jackson makes the first. And disappointed For Breakers fans, disappointment, I should say, is Jackson. He missed out on Player of the Week as he had 30 points, 15 rebounds, and 14 assists across those 2 games. He misses the second. He was sensational in the first half, especially in the second quarter against the Tigers on Sunday. He looked like he was in the zone as Burston has a shot disrupted by Pledge's defense, and Jackson upstairs to Abercrombie, and it's another alley-oop.
Well, highlights galore in the early goals. Thomas Abercrombie just took off on that wing like a jet, and Cedric Jackson saw him the whole time and gave it to him at the perfect moment.
Jackson almost cut the steal on Bellinger. Bellinger drives at Pledger, gets it to drop off the glass, and he'll go to the line.
Well, the Breakers very aggressive defensively here in the first couple minutes of the game. And a lot of switching, a lot of hard shows on the on-ball screens, but that's creating a little bit of confusion in that defense. Here we see Matt Burston not being able to finish. Cedric Jackson starts the break, just firing down the lane, throws it straight up for Thomas Abercrombie. Almost a mirror image of his last dunk, except this one was in transition.
Feasting on the weak side as Tom Abercrombie, as Bellinger makes his three-point play opportunity come true. And Bellinger, naturalized American, playing for the Tigers. He's played for the 36ers, amongst others. He's banging inside with Pledger, who just dumps it off to Vacona, who was all alone.
A lot of attention for Alex Pledger coming off those 20 points against the Tigers last week. Unfortunately, leaving Mika Vacona alone that time.
Goulding to Tomlinson. Tomlinson. No good. Jackson.
Tomlinson needs to be a little bit more aggressive with his jump shot. He had an open look and passed it up. Ended up with a bad runner.
Corletto gets it up quick. Quick release. No good. Pledger in between 2 Tigers. And it will be the Breakers' ball.
And these 2 guys are just offensive rebounding very nicely right now. Alex Pledger and Mika Vacona just sending 2 guys to the boards in the moment, but that's too much for the Tigers to box out, apparently.
Jackson, the floater. Tracks down his own rebound, throws it up. Helps him with his 7-footer there, and Abercrombie goes down, but the Tigers will have it. Goulding. Pledger pulls down the board. Chris Goulding. He has been feeling it of late.
As well as he's been scoring, I wouldn't call it a horrible shot, but you might want to see a little bit more time taken into half court.
Jackson in traffic tried the reverse, and it was no good, and now it's a 3-on-1. Goulding strong to the cut. Blocked by Abercrombie, who just hung in the air.
He certainly did. He just hung up there like he was anti-gravitational.
And it's Jackson to Pledger at the other end. Fast break basketball from the Breakers.
Well, the Breakers didn't even really get onto the offensive end of the court, but when you don't convert, when you have numbers going one direction, you can guarantee that the numbers are going to be against you coming back onto the defensive end of the court.
It's locked up at 12. 4.5 gone in this first quarter. Goulding curls and pulls up, and that drops for Chris Goulding.
He's really got a skill for that mid-range game, right around the elbow, and the Tigers run a lot of stuff for those curl shots right in that mid-range game.
Again, they go upstairs to Abercrombie. That play is working to perfection.
And he gets the foul. Thomas Abercrombie. You want to get out of a shooting slump? All I'm going to do is dunk the basketball. Nobody will be talking about shots after that. But what I'm really surprised about is that there hasn't been a timeout by the Tigers. You've got to be going crazy on the coaching staff to give up 3 lobs, 2 in the half court. Here we see those looks again. Mika Vacona just sets a nice little screen on the baseline, creating that opportunity. Burston tries to recover late, but cannot get any contact to Thomas Abercrombie until he's on the rim, who's having a highlight reel of the night.
There's no real extension on that baseline zone as well by the Tigers. He's getting a clear path, and I can tell you that Chris Anstey is not phased at the moment. He's sitting on the bench drinking in Pepsi Max. Jackson harasses Goulding and commits the foul. Mana slaps the hands together, and we will indeed have a timeout as the TV wanted that as the Breakers take a little 1-point lead into this timeout. And if you want to join the conversation, you can on Twitter at the Sky Sport NZ handle. The hashtag is New Zealand Breakers or NZ Breakers. If you want to have a chat, discuss, have some questions for Casey or Dennis at halftime, by all means, join.
She wanted to do a special tribute to Mr. Dylan Boucher. So let's see how we go, Chief. I want you to join in, especially you kids at home. Cheeky, give us a
Let's make sure we're not running away from traps in the backcourt. We've got to be available. If Nate gets trapped, if you get trapped, make sure you're available for each other. Make sure you're lifting up the lanes.
Give us an A.
Every time we've run transition, we've
Give us an
scored.
E.
So let's get into transition, set good screens. Let's find the extension of that all the way through. If nothing shows, that last option was much better. If it doesn't show, you lift and you're setting the pick and pop. Find the weak side block for your rebound and finish strong. No layups tonight. Dunk everything, go to the line. Here we go. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
We hear Chris Anstey talking about that pressure that the Breakers are bringing as we see a little bit of Thomas Abercrombie and the lob show. Is Lob City in Auckland tonight? Because it looks like it might be that one right on Matt Burson with a late help and 3 for 3 on the dunks, even though he's missed his only three-point opportunity.
Lob pass to Abercrombie is so popular it became a basketball website. It's a popular play tonight in the first quarter.
With highlights like that, you can see why it became a little bit popular.
15-14 Breakers with a 1-point lead. Bruton and Boucher in the game, and we have a foul away from the ball. It will be, I believe it's Tomlinson. It is. No, it's Tom Abercrombie, actually, I should say. It is first. Tigers ball on the baseline. Tomlinson driving, kicks it out into Breakers' hands now with the turnover. Jackson after the cup and in. The double clutch layup by Cedric Jackson is good, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Well, capitalization on mistakes, that's what the Breakers do best, and this time it was Nate Tomlinson getting caught in the air, turning the ball over, and Cedric Jackson runs the lane faster than probably just about anybody because he's a quick guy. Gets all the way down, absorbs the foul from Adam Ballinger, and puts the ball in. When you have an opportunity to drive on the other hand for Nate Tomlinson, you have to not predetermine what you want to do before you do it. Take what's there, don't jump in the air and try and pass it because this Breakers team is very quick getting into those passing lanes.
Greer and Ballinger take a seat. And Walker and Rush come in. And Jackson makes the free throw. Seth Scott just working his way back from injury. He's suited up tonight. How much we'll see of him, not too sure. Will Hudson, of course, still out for the Breakers. And Liam Rush drills a 3 for the Tigers.
Well, that's the way to beat the pressure. Throw the ball, pass the ball, don't dribble it, and that's going to make it much easier to deflect that pressure.
Jackson just hanging and finding the perfect weight for that pass as well over the top of the Tigers. To Tom Abercrombie. Pledger now. Walker on him, the shorter Walker. Rolls to the baseline, and that right-hand hook is there almost Alex Pledger.
Well, he just big-boyed him there. Took him down to the paint and said, I'm going to take about 3 more feet of space and then just shoot this hook right over you.
Both teams, obviously, the fresh legs in this game, despite the fact they played on Sunday, shooting at a high clip. The Breakers, 62%. The Tigers, 58%. Tomlinson, Goulding. Tried to beat Jackson off the dribble. No luck there, so he's going to back him in. Rolls to the baseline. Drop step is good. And Chris Goulding with a beautiful bank shot. And will go to the line to shoot 1.
Well, a double bonus for the Tigers. Not only do they get the bucket, but they get the second foul on Cedric Jackson here in the first quarter. And Chris Goulding does a good job of taking his time. Initially, he lost the basketball, didn't quite find the handle. But then he felt a smaller Cedric Jackson on him, just backs him down, spins him around, gets the space, spins into the baseline, finishes strong, and gets that bonus foul on Cedric Jackson.
That is a nice post move from a swingman, a guard as well, Chris Goulding.
Yeah, he's a versatile player. He's got the inside game and outside game, the ability to put the ball on the floor, and he's really pieced it together quite a bit better in this season.
The patience as well as he makes his foul shot. And it's 20 all in the first quarter. Coming up on 3.5 to go. Corey Webster running the point for the Breakers. Leon Henry's in the game. It's back to a man deep. Webster sits on the shot clock. Finds Bruton. Goes right. Uses the floater. Rolls it in with 1 on the shot clock. We've got Matt Burston somehow ended up on the floor, and Dylan Boucher helps him up.
Former teammates as well. We played a little bit together in the Perth Wildcats, but C.J. Bruton, so impressive with that quickness, that ability to go from 0 to his top speed so quickly. Just such a skill to have. He still has it. You know, he was standing still, didn't look like the Breakers were going to get any shot off at all. He just turned on the turbos just enough to get that wide open runner and rattles it home.
A wily veteran knows when to use the energy boost, or the turbo boost, if you will. And that is what CJ Bruton is. Went home against the Cairns Taipans with an ear infection, and it has bothered him the past week or so. As Goulding, with the right hand, can't get a strong drive, and Vacona falls over, and Goulding gets it back. Easy basket for Chris Goulding, and we have a problem with Mika Vacona.
Yeah, not too often that you see Mika Vacona just on the ground, writhing in pain. Not sure from this angle what exactly happened. Looked like he might have just slipped on a wet spot after corralling that rebound. And he's grabbing his knees, had some trouble with the knees in the past. And absolute silence in the crowd right now, worried about his condition.
If you paid attention to the Breakers the last couple of seasons, and as you can see here, Casey, Vacona comes down and just tweaks an ankle. That, if you want to have good news on an injury, that is good news, because a tweaked ankle is better than a knee injury.
Yeah, an ankle, possibly spend some time off, but Mika Vacona, I'm quite surprised to see him struggling so hard to get off this court. I would imagine if he would to break his leg, that he'd just rub some dirt on and try and play. So if he is walking off with unable to do so under his own power, it must be reasonably serious. And if there's any chance for him to return to the game, I'm sure he'll want to do it.
He's looking very ginger on that as well. That is unlike Mika Vacona to walk off like that.
Well, as much pain
We've
as
seen him go down many times.
Well, he goes down quite often, and he almost always bounces back up. But to walk off like that, you still saw him trying to hustle after the basketball while he was screaming for a little bit of pain.
I'm surprised he was actually injured when he went down as he did, but Vacona getting treatment on the sideline. Henry all alone, top of the key, three is no good. And we have a foul, and now I think that's on Abercrombie, which will be his second.
Well, the Tigers doing a good job of transitioning from offense to defense in that instance. Lucas Walker out in front of everybody. And the Breakers were pretty lucky to get the foul, actually, to try and stop the break. But as it is, they're already in the bonus. 2.5. Actually, both teams are in the bonus. So from now on, there'll be free throws on fouls regardless. And Nate Tomlinson gets a chance to get on the scoreboard.
In the first half, the Breakers did a great job on Sunday at Hisense Arena, getting out and running over the top of the Tigers. And that was quickly put to rest by the Tigers in the second half as Tomlinson makes his first. Just use the bigger bodies that they had. They do have quite a meaty front line, Casey. We've got some big bodies to bang around, and speaking of which, Seth Scott is in the game.
Meaty front line, I like that. That's descriptive. But they do have some good size in there, and they've got versatile wing players that stand pretty tall as well. So those guys have often given the Breakers a lot of trouble this season.
Liam Rush with the man's beard picks up the personal foul.
Oh, that thing is fantastically groomed. It looks luxurious, like you couldn't get your fingers through it if you tried.
That is a luxurious beard, you are right. It's better than Brad Hill's beard. Not knocking Brad Hill, but he was in here last week for the Cairns Taipans, but as Mika Vacona will go off with Ananus Bullphone, the physio for the Breakers, just to check out the ankle fully.
Got the full name for Noose in there. I can't call him by his full name. I can only call him Noose.
Well, to be honest, Dennis Katsanis pulled it up last week as well. And, well, if Dennis can do it, so can I. Abercrombie makes both. Scores tied at 24, 2.5 to go.
Very aggressive in the full court defense for the Breakers, really trying to take advantage of that lack of true ball handlers for the Tigers.
Scott just banks it off with the left hand over Dylan Boucher. The strength of Seth Scott.
Well, he gave him a big boy move of his own, just throwing his shoulder into his chest and creating some space.
Webster rolling back the years like he's at Westlake Boys.
That is one of Corey Webster's shot. He really likes to attack off the dribble, got that space, and create even more space with a bit of a step back.
Scott again. Henry on him, goes up over the top of him, gets the roll. Seth Scott with two big post moves.
Well, back-to-back, the Breakers might have to bring the double team if they keep on just rolling the ball down and telling him to go to work.
Trading buckets at the moment are the Tigers and the Breakers as Abercrombie rises up, and that drops for him.
Well, he might have found his rhythm getting those 3 early dunks, because that was a difficult shot over 2 outstretched defenders.
Ball ricocheting off Corey Webster. The Tigers will have it with the pressure at half court. Chris Anstey shook his hand before when I did the coach's interview. They are mixed. I mean, it's like shaking a meat baseball glove.
Talk about that. You are your descriptive game tonight, but he certainly does have the big paws, and it's helped him corral a lot of rebounds and make a lot of jumpers over the years.
Quality player, Chris Anstey, for Australia. And time in the NBA as well. As Rush gets the little jumper to drop. We're going the other way, of course, and Corey Webster looking aggressive. He was aggressive against the Tigers on Sunday too.
Well, both teams are playing to their strengths right now. The Breakers in transition are very tough to stop, and the Tigers, they're just throwing the ball in the post and telling their guys, you're bigger than the opposition, get some buckets down there.
He had 14 on Sunday, did Webster. Seth Scott gets another bucket, and my goodness, Seth Scott is taking advantage of the fact that there's no Alex Pledger out there. He has 6 off the bench.
Yeah, this is a pretty small lineup with Dylan Boucher playing backup center at the moment. Not ideal for the Breakers.
Boucher's shot is blocked. No Will Hudson means there's no bangers as Goulding goes down.
I thought the Oscars were a couple weeks ago, but he's still trying to get a nomination.
Goulding loves to sell a foul. And a bit of moisture on the ball, according to Nate Tomlinson. So I think that's what it is. And the referees aren't too sure. They don't want to wipe it down.
You see some type of warning up there. Looks like they're getting a delay of game warning, I think, or not sure exactly what the warning is. But Vaughn Mayberry, he issued a warning to the Melbourne Tigers there, and they're on notice.
You get 2. The other team shoots foul shots. Scott. Rush. Bruton with the push-off on Lucas Walker, who said thank you to the ref.
Well, CJ Bruton knew he was unable to get that position on Lucas Walker, just stood behind him. Looked like he might have just extended the arm just a little bit too much. Unfortunate for him, because the way the ball bounced, almost definitely would have landed in his hands, but instead sends the Tigers to the line with just 6.5 seconds on the clock. But the complete result is that the Breakers will have a better chance to get a bucket on the other end.
Walker, he is an athletic, strong player. The one thing, and this is indicative of most guys his age in the NBL, guys like him and Rush, looking for that consistency week in, week out, game to game. With 4 to go in this quarter. Webster, who else? Pull up, too strong, and that'll do it for the first quarter. And it is the Melbourne Tigers who will head to the quarter time break with a 4-point advantage, 34-30, Casey.
And a fantastic scoring quarter by both teams. Defense is trying to make an effort out there, but just unable to really stop the flow of offensive ability at the moment. The Breakers really punishing the Tigers in transition, and as I said before, the Melbourne Tigers really taking advantage in the half court, really punishing the small Breakers lineup that just is too small to stop them.
Don't worry about offense. Look up. 30 points is heaps. Come off the backboard, it can go straight through the net.
The Breakers, of course, without Nick Vacona at the moment. They might be done for the game. We'll keep you posted on that as Andre Lamanis rallying his troops.
Obviously, 34 points is the problem. Too many easy scores. So we're going to limit our gambles now in the backcourt. Okay, so stop, solid, pack 40 defense, get it out of Tomlinson's hands, make Goulding bring it up, and then we're in our pack defense. All right, let's be solid, get it back to contested jumpers. In the post, if it's Chief, he can play him. The other guys, we're going to blitz on the bounce. So if it's anyone else going the post, man, we're going to blitz it on the bounce. Again, you got to be very active guarding like a Tomlinson on the weak side. So, if it's here, it's me, you're rotating. If you're guarding guy, you can go early on Tomlinson. Okay? We're blitzing anybody but Chief.
Here we go.
Offense, I got no problem where they'll continue to get better if we get some stops. We just got to get some stops, fellas. If it's zone, we've got trans.
And what do you pick from the first quarter? Because there were highlights galore. Started early with some Matt Burst and buckets low, but Thomas Abercrombie was quick to answer with the lob dunks from Cedric Jackson. The Tigers were not deterred, though, had some offense of their own. Bounced back by a Daryl Carletto 3, and just highlight after highlight here in this first quarter. A lot of those in transition, in particular for Thomas Abercrombie.
Just that lob pass on the weak side, working to a treat, but the Melbourne Tigers stuck at it as Mikavakona has a right ankle sprain. Chris Goulding was the beneficiary of that, and he is unlikely to return. That is the status report on Mikavakona. They don't need to play him. They're sitting pretty. They want to keep the momentum going. This win streak is inconsequential as far as they're concerned because they just want a third championship in a row. The fans want to see them win, but he is likely to return against Perth, which is next Friday in Perth, if need be.
A lot being asked of the guards for the Breakers right now. They're going to have to all slide down a position and play a little bit bigger. Only one true big man left in Alex Pledger. Everybody else more of a 3-4. Dylan Boucher's jack of all trades, but he's going to have to do a lot tonight.
So a very small lineup for the Breakers tonight. Will Hudson is out. He may get some minutes against Perth next Friday, and probably will if they want to rest Mikavakona and they want to get Will Hudson some touches. Some gameplay is underway in the second quarter. Webster. This game's built for him tonight as he goes strong with the cup and in, and he'll go to the line. I think that is about the 80th three-point play opportunity tonight in the game so far.
A lot of contact after the shots going up, and Corey Webster on that occasion really aggressive to the lane, using his body to hold off the bigger Seth Scott. That foul actually comes from the weak side, though. Lucas Walker looks like he's getting a hand in there, and Corey Webster off to an excellent start offensively with his 6 point, has an opportunity for a 7.
Rattles in the free throw. Breakers pressure extended again. Pledger is out there. He's joined by Bruton, Webster, Henry, and Corletto. It's a 4-guard rotation. Rush in the corner. Deep two's no good, but Scott gets around Pledger and puts it up and in. No, he doesn't. Oh, tough for Seth Scott.
Just a little too casual with that one. He was sure it went in. Instead of hanging around, he started running back and gave the rebound to Alex Pledger.
Quadruple jab step there from CJ Bruton. Corletto to Henry. Finds Webster on the weak side. He will shoot it. And he knocks it in. Corey Webster off the bench.
He is off to a fantastic start, finding the range from inside and from deep.
He has 10 in this half. Seth Scott, he has 6 for the Tigers. Goulding, he can't get it. Bruton pulls up, it's a 2. It's 0. Pledger almost got the tip dunk, but he kind of mistimed the jump, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's reached just out, reached his grasp there. Couldn't quite get it where he wanted to, but still an excellent effort.
Scott, long jumper's no good. Webster crosses half court. Keeps his dribble alive, looks at Pledger, and likes to look at the hoop a lot better than the big 7-footer.
Well, those 2 fouls to Cedric Jackson have given Corey Webster free reign on the court right now, and he is using it to full effect for his 12th point of the game.
He had 14 on Sunday, and he's almost going to equal that pretty soon. It's Corey Webster. Rush to Tomlinson, and Tomlinson now with a pick and roll with Seth Scott, who has an advantage. Tomlinson can't get that to rattle in. Breakers have a 4-point lead. Corletto. Pledger on the trailer. Over Walker. Softly off the glass.
Well, when you let the big fella get all the way down to the paint, as you almost see a steal there. Instead, we actually had a timeout there on the court, but Alex Pledger with that secondary trail running down the break. The late find from Daryl Corletto, and once again just uses his size over Lucas Walker. Too big, too close to the paint. Going to be too tough to stop.
Zansti and D-Mac talk it over. And if you're wondering where Judd Flavel is, commiserations to him and his knee. He blew out his patella tendon last night in a social game of basketball. And you can watch the Breakers play. Whoever will make the 4th place, the first semi-final live on Sky Sport, Thursday, 28th of March. 2 weeks tonight. And that will be at Victor Arena.
They're going back to man-to-man. They're hard showing. I'm not sure what they're going to do with you. But they burn them with the loud. So make sure what you're going to build. Because they slack opportunities and then just get more handles in the back of the night.
The Breakers furiously talking over what it is they have to do in the half court. Right now, the Tigers, who looked so good coming into the second quarter, just lost a little bit from the Breakers, who offensively really turned it up. 10 straight points. Really taking over here. 2 minutes and 18 seconds. That's a lot of points in a short amount of time. A lot of those coming from Corey Webster, who's on a scoring tear.
Yeah, he is. His career highs, 14. He had that against the Tigers on Sunday. It's 12 tonight already in this first half.
And look at that. It's almost an exact replay of the play before, coming to the strong hand, the right hand. And here we see a little bit more of that action. Corey Webster on the three, and fantastic quarter for him, really coming out, putting a lot of pressure on the Tigers. Another guy who has the ability to score and put the ball on the floor. And when he gets in that mid-range, that floater, he's not a tall guy, but he somehow always creates a lot of space.
You do need a guy coming to the bench who's got a scorer's mentality like Corey Webster, and he is playing the backup one. He's more of a natural two when he plays in New Zealand, and he's getting a lot better at playing the point.
And no home is complete with a microwave, and neither is your bench.
Tomlinson looked awkward, and he may have tweaked something. And in fact, he's lost his laces. He almost stepped out of his shoe.
It looks like it might have been Cedric Jackson stepping on his shoelace. I was wondering why that move looked a little less athletic than it should have. A little grounded on that layup. Still had the ability to put it in. But nice of the official to let him tie his shoe after that one. Still got the finish, got on the board. Maybe that'll give him a little bit of confidence going into the rest of this game.
It's very good of the referee to let him tie his shoe up. Just play on. Webster. Tipped. Who has it? It's Burston for the Tigers. Here comes Lucas Walker. Look out. Kicks it out to Goulding. Walker saw a lane. He gets it back. It bumps off Corletto. Gives it to Burston. Loses the ball. Gives it to Goulding, who gets it to Burston. Off the rebound. And the Breakers foul Matty Burston, hustling underneath.
Well, now Alex Pledger's going to have to be a little bit more careful as well, because he just picked up that foul. That's his second of the night. Not what the Breakers wanted to see, but the Tigers relentless with their pressure. Pushed the ball in transition, took the shot, and then just attacked the offensive glass. Matt Burston, Alex Pledger fighting for it there. Alex Pledger saying, I was fighting for the ball. I had the ball, but not in the official's opinion.
12 each. Tigers and the Breakers on the rebounds front. Burston gives it to Rush. And Corletto got him. Oh, and it counts as he stepped across the lane.
A little bit of continuation there.
Wow.
Liam Rush is the beneficiary of the benefit of the doubt on that one, as he looked like he got fouled on the floor, but he fought through, played through the whistle, put the shot up. Here we see it. Liam Rush just a bit too big for Daryl Coletto down to the post. Dribbles him down, goes up with a hook. Doesn't look like a lot of contact, but too much contact for the officials' liking. And he finishes the three-point play.
Too much beard, I think, as well.
Yeah, that thing could score some points on its own.
Just looking at the stat sheet, I think it averages about 3 points a game.
It's known to have a really good step-back jump shot.
Speaking of which, so does Corey Webster, but he drives his time and kicks it out to Jackson. Jackson left alone on the three-point line. Some nights he's good from there, other nights he's not. And Dylan Boucher fouls Goulding at half court. And just checking the stat line there, and that'll be Dylan Boucher's first foul. So 2 for Jackson, 2 for Abercrombie, 2 for Pledger, and no Mikavakona tonight, most likely.
And tonight's game looks like a game of runs. After 10 straight from the Breakers, we got 5 straight from the Tigers with an opportunity to add on to that. But right now, the defense only trying to stay afloat for both teams. The offense just too strong for all comers at the moment.
Alex Pledger and Andre Lamanis. The keys to this game, Lamanis needs to work out the fact that no Mikavakona. And if you want to watch the Bulldogs and the Eels tonight, it will be live on Sky Sport 1 at 10 p.m. Round 2 of the NRL. The Eels coming off that big win over the Warriors last week, 40-10.
A little stagnant against their zone right now. They're all just crowded in the paint, and we're not getting the ball movement. So, come on down. We can go in trans, or we can run runners. All right, push is fine. On the push, keep going and exploring and moving and all that sort of stuff. All right. Otherwise, we've got some trans. All right, man-to-man trans against is fine, and we've got some zone runner. Zone runner, once you get through and nothing happens, and comes behind the on ball, penetrate, dive, circle underneath. Here we go. We're good. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, the Breakers trying to figure out what to do against that defense of the Tigers. A little bit of zone, a little bit of man action. Chris Anstey really doing a good job of switching things up, trying to keep the New Zealand Breakers on their toes and not let them get into that comfortable rhythm that they've been in so many times during this 16-game winning streak.
Corey Webster leads all scorers with 12. He'll take a seat. And on the court is Jackson, Boucher, Corletto, Pledger, and Abercrombie. Walker, Goulding, Tomlinson, Rush and Burston for the Tigers. Boucher tips it. And we have an unsportsmanlike foul on Chris Goulding.
Well, multiple players in front of him, he just grabs him from behind.
Honestly, sorry, but Chris Anstey looked like Wally there.
Here we see Dylan Boucher always playing those lanes. Didn't get hands in the ball, and wow, just barely a hand on. That is a tough wear of an unsportsmanlike foul, but I guess the referee's sticking strictly to the rule book there. When there's a player in front of you and you grab him from behind, you have the opportunity to score. That is an automatic 2 free throws and the basketball. Dylan Boucher clanks the first one off the rim. He never did like the rim. He always liked to be mean to it.
Chris Anstey, a stellar career in the NBL, arguing the case. He's 2008 Defensive Player of the Year, and Boucher. Thanks, Dylan Boucher.
Not for those free throws, though.
Thanks for nothing at the foul line. Say Breakers fans, it's a barrage. What a career he's had for this team and in the league and in New Zealand as well. 9 championships in the New Zealand Basketball League. A true competitor is Dylan Boucher. The 2 shots and possession on an unsportsmanlike foul. Jackson misses that. And it's 40-39 still.
I would like to see the Breakers get a little bit more aggressive onto the interior of that zone, settling for the 3-point shot. When early in the game, they really attacked it with those cutters, especially from Thomas Abercrombie.
Rush. Back inside to Liam Rush. Double teamed. Open man is Goulding. Chris Goulding drops the big 3.
Well, Nate Tomlinson with the extra pass, gave it to a wide open Goulding, and the defense had no chance to recover.
You don't want to leave him. Boucher looking for somebody, finds Alex Pledger with the bounce pass. Pledger will go to the line.
A little bit disappointed himself not to finish, but the big fella just needs to get that and go right up. He's sitting on the rim. He gave 3 little up fakes. Power through, get a bang jam. Come on, man. In case you're wondering, I did just call it a bang jam.
Well, yeah, bang jam. I haven't heard that before, but I like it.
You haven't heard bang jam? All the kids are saying it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Did you invent that?
Oh yeah.
You stole it?
No, that's straight out of the mind of Casey.
Frankism. Pledger makes the first. He has 7 points. 4 rebounds as well. Player of the round for round 22. He'll check out for the much shorter Leon Henry.
We see a bit more of this small ball lineup that the Breakers have been forced into. Dylan Boucher, the de facto backup center, and Leon Henry, the de facto backup power forward.
6-7 and under league at the moment for the Breakers. Boucher pokes away from Walker, but he gets it back. Does the Melbourne Tiger. And then they throw it away. Another turnover.
Lucas Walker missing a wide open Chris Goulding in the corner.
Oh, Matt Burston, he just stood there. And Cedric Jackson ran into a whole herd of pain.
And the foul's being called on Dylan Boucher, who's contacting Burston behind him. The official says that Dylan Boucher pushed Matt Burston into Cedric Jackson. And wow, that's a free shot on the point guard there.
They call the foul on
I don't know exactly why that's a foul on Dylan Boucher. He's standing there. Don't know if it was a foul on Matt Burston either. Just looked like wrong place, wrong time, but you do not want to be throwing your head into 6'10" big men.
That is just an awkward, unfortunate basketball play. Jackson's rattled. Burston is the only one who comes unscathed. Boucher picks up the personal. That is number 2 for him. It's Tomlinson. No good. And Bellinger and Leon Henry get tied up, and it will be Leon Henry who picks up the personal foul. And the refs are hearing it from the crowd.
Well, Leon Henry that time doing all he could to box out Alan Ballinger, but he had 2 hands on Ballinger wall in front of him, just grabbing him, trying to keep him off. So can't do that with the illegal. Here we see it. Leon Henry grabbing him with both arms, grabs the basketball. But man, I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot worse before. I don't know. I wouldn't have to call that a foul on either guy. There's just 2 guys fighting for the basketball.
5 team fouls already for the Breakers with 4:47 to go in the half. Ballinger makes the first. CJ Bruton about to check in.
Adam Ballinger playing on the road, had to miss his daughter's 6-year birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Kia, I'm sure he'd want to say.
Absolutely. I hope you got lots of presents. And the bouncy castle at least with your birthday party. Corletto takes a seat, so it will be Bruton out there for Daryl Corletto. 44-42, Tigers with a 2-point advantage. Tigers breaking into a zone. Looks like a 2-1-2. Abercrombie. Breakers trying to find a seam. Abercrombie rises up. And it's Leon Henry who gives it to Bruton for 3. Nothing but the net for CJ Bruton.
Rangy. That shot was deep, 3 or 4 feet behind the line, but it did not face CJ Bruton at all.
The Breakers take the lead on that. 45-44. Defense call is coming out from the fans.
Adam Ballinger settled to the fadeaway, needs to be more aggressive and going at Dylan Boucher with those fouls.
Jackson kicks it out to Henry. Abercrombie. Offensive rebound number 5 for the Breakers. Jackson. Oh, beautiful basketball. What interior passing from Dylan Boucher.
Well, Cedric Jackson gets the hockey assist, but Dylan Boucher gets the real assist, and then it runs into Chris Goulding on top of it after the whistle. Getting a little edgy here. Chris Goulding, he's trying to get in the head of the Breakers. He's doing a lot of elbows, throwing those around, a lot of pushing happening on both sides of the court.
He is a crafty, niggly player, Chris Goulding. Look at that.
Look at that. Fantastic passing there. A to B to C so quick. And then we see the foul away. Dylan Boucher, he gets a free shot in. Why not take the free one when you can?
Burston and Rush sit down. And it's Tommy Greer and Seth Scott will join the fray. The foul was actually on a Melbourne Tiger.
Foul away from the basketball. Looked like a couple of guys got tangled up, pushing and shoving away from it. And from now on, both teams in the bonus. 5 fouls already on the Breakers, 4 on the Tigers. And both teams are going to have to be a bit careful. Looks like pretty much everybody who's seen the court for the Tigers tonight has a foul so far.
It certainly has. Everyone has a personal foul, and Rush and Greer have 2.
The only Breaker hasn't had a personal foul yet is Mika Vakona, and he went out pretty quickly.
Yeah. It's good for the average. I think Mika Vakona, I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure he leads the league in fouls committed at around 3.5.
It should be above that. Use them up. That's a foul and a half you're leaving on the court.
Yeah, it's quite a low over the last couple of seasons, actually, for Vakona. Hopefully his ankle, it's getting some treatment right now, and it's going to be okay. And he's unlikely to return. He just joined us on the broadcast. Mika Vakona tweaked his ankle, going for a rebound. As Bruton makes his second foul shot. The Breakers now have a 5-point buffer. Coming up on 3.5 to go in the first half. Melbourne Tigers 10 of 14. Desperate for a playoff spot. Still 3 games in hand for them left in the season after this one. Ballinger banging into Boucher. Wild hook shot, and Breakers will have it.
Well, Chris Goulding active on the offensive glass that the Tigers have been all night long, but just couldn't corral that one with Dylan Boucher hanging around.
Cedric Jackson, that is number 3 on him, fighting for the rebound. The push, we'll see him head to the bench.
And you can see the disappointment in his body language there after we saw the vet move by Cedric Jackson swinging around. But Cedric Jackson just attacking the glass. Chris Goulding takes that contact, flies out of bounds, sells it to the official once again. And he's doing a good job of selling that contact. Always not my favorite thing to see on the court, but he is doing an excellent job of it when he is getting hit, even if there's not a ton of contact. He's letting the refs know about it, and that time earned him a trip to the free throw line.
Goulding will go to the line, like you said, Casey. That is 3 on Jackson. Goulding looking for points 11 and 12. That has brought Corey Webster onto the court for the Breakers. 3 points for Chris Goulding. He is selling everything tonight, and the refs are buying it.
Hey, you need to win. You need to get them any way you can. You're out there on the court playing hard. And if you're going to get fouled, you might as well let the ref know about it. Otherwise, ain't nobody going to call it for you.
Absolutely. It's all part of the game as Goulding makes the second. He is 12. Abercrombie. Henry fighting hard. Pledger cleans up, puts it up, and it drops. Alex Pledger, just too tall.
Well, Seth Scott just wore an elbow in the chest and got a foul for good measure because of it. Alex Pledger just hanging around in the right spot at the right time as that ball nobody could quite get a hold of, and it fell into his hands for the finish. Two Tigers fighting for it. Alex Pledger gets in the right spot, and Seth Scott takes the elbow, then knocks his hand down on Alex Pledger's arm. That's where the foul comes from. So a three-point opportunity for the big fella.
Pledger takes a seat. And it's Ruben Tarangi getting some first half action. And we have a lane violation. And I think it's on Corey Webster for stepping into the three-point line. Andre Lamanis can't believe it. Man, they are being fastidious tonight with the rules.
Yeah, on point on the rule book tonight. Might have had a review just before the game. But Ruben Tarangi, nice to see him out here early in the game. And a lot of breakers going to get some run tonight with all those injuries.
Rush drives on Tarangi. Goulding from deep. Bangs it in. Chris Goulding is keeping the Tigers in this game.
Well, when he gets hot, he's a player to watch out for. He can score a lot of points in a short amount of time, and it's looking good for him right now.
Goulding comes over the top. He feels like he hasn't fouled, but that will be number 3. He can't believe it. He's running straight to the bench as Vinnie Lewis will sit down.
Well, you don't want to give away those fouls down low on the paint. You're in the bonus. You're giving him 2 free throws anyway. There's nothing to protect. And now your leading scorer has to sit down with 15 points on 5 for 11 shooting. Don't want to see that if you're a Tigers fan. Stay on the court. You got to use those fouls more judiciously.
Breakers 11 of 15 from the line. The Melbourne Tigers are a perfect 11 from 11. A lot of foul shots last week as well against the Taipans. 15 of 21 were Melbourne in the game on Sunday. The Breakers 11 of 19. Denny Lewis. He is athletic. Did you know his dad played in the NBL, Casey?
I've heard that once or twice. I've picked up the information somewhere.
A little in-joke between Casey and I, sorry. Nate Tomlinson. Corey Webster gets the rebound. Coming up on 90 seconds to go as Webster turns the corner and Nate Tomlinson pushed him as he did.
Well, just too much contact out on the perimeter. Got to use your feet to play defense. Right now, the Tigers are getting their hands in there. And with both teams in the bonus, you do not want to give away free points coming down to the end of the quarter.
Nate Tomlinson, that is number 2 for him. And Webster at the line. Corey has 12. Pledger has 12. And leading all scorers is Goulding with 15.
Corey Webster taking advantage of the 3 points, and those free throws, those can get you back into rhythm after you haven't seen the basketball in a while.
And that ties his career high. Consecutive games with 14 against the Melbourne Tigers.
Not a bad feeling to do in the first half.
Who can forget the triple-double that Cedric Jackson had against the Melbourne Tigers? That was amazing to watch. I think it was 21 or 24 and 10 and 10. Seth Scott jab step, gives it to Bellinger, left alone on the three-point line. Pledger has the board. Breakers 6-point lead. Tarangi gives it back to Webster. A minute to go in the first half. Webster drives into Tigers, I should say. Tarangi hits the corner 3 and the crowd love it.
Ruben Tarangi is an excellent shooter for a young player with as much athleticism as he has, but Corey Webster does an excellent job of drawing the defense and finding the shooter in the corner on that possession.
Leading the pressure as well is Ruben Tarangi. It's Liam Rush. tips the ball out. 30 seconds left. The Breakers will wind it down, and then the Melbourne Tigers should have the final shot, according to the basketball gods, unless there's an offensive rebound. And wow, there's a tangle. Bruton will go to the line, and that is on Seth Scott, and that will be 3 quick fouls on Seth Scott.
Tried to put his body in there, tried to take away that driving lane that CJ Bruton had, but just a little bit too late. And now the Tigers, a lot of foul trouble in there. They've got 5 players on at least 2 fouls, and 2 of those guys have 3.
Hands up for CJ.
Just Cedric Jackson on 3 for the Breakers.
It's 2 key cogs for the Melbourne Tigers as well, with Chris Goulding sitting on 3, Seth Scott as well, who really came out aggressive offensively, but hasn't been able to get as many touches since that initial offensive foray.
And the lead is double figures now. CJ Bruton makes it 11.
The Breakers just do that so well. Just looks like it's a tight game, right on top of each other. Neither team really getting an advantage. All of a sudden, you look up at the scoreboard, and they're up 11.
16 of 20 are the Breakers' free throw percentage. The Tigers are perfect, 11 from 11. As Corey Webster will send Nate Tomlinson to the line. That is not what Andre Lamanis wanted.
No, everybody on the defensive side of the basketball upset with that, but Nate Tomlinson with a heads-up play saw that Corey Webster was just a little bit out of position, got aggressive into his body, put the arm up, and made the ref blow his whistle and send him to the free throw line.
Heads up play by Nate Tomlinson. At least on the flip side, Casey, on the upside, the Breakers get the ball back.
Not the worst thing to happen when you're scoring as well as the Breakers are right now.
Tomlinson, I should say, with a nice stat line. This is the first, however. It's the first miss of the night for the Tigers. Ten and a half seconds to go. The ball is with Webster. 3. It's Corletto. Quick fire, in and out. And Alan Bellinger corrals it. Has a heave at the end, but it falls way short. Wouldn't have counted anyway. And the Melbourne Tigers were in this for a long stretch in the first half. But the Breakers poured it on in the second quarter. They will head into the changing sheds, minus Mikavakona and his gimpy ankle, and in a little bit of foul trouble. But they are up 60-50 after one half.
Go faster, be stronger, change the game. The ANZ Championship returns March 24th live, Sky Sport. Coverage brought to you by ANZ.
Bunnings, we're low prices every day.
Homelight petrol chainsaw $199. Wired garden edging $19.98. And if you happen to find a cheaper price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 15%.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
They bring me bids. Many bids. Then they take them from me.
Find your nearest Mammoth stockist or book a free insulation assessment at mammoth.co.nz.
the same stretch of road, on the same day, at the same time. We share our drive with the same people. People we know and people we don't. If we stopped thinking cars and started thinking people, would it change the way we drive?
Play strip-back anthems on Radio Hauraki and try and guess a song from a single track.
Because if you get it right, you'll grab a share of $50,000 and we want to
give it away now!
Play stripped-back anthems weekdays on Hauraki.
Sign up to NZ tax refunds before March 31st and get your last 5 years' worth of refunds at once. That's a good woohoo. Do you have a woohoo waiting? Find out at nztaxrefunds.co.nz.
Went up on the hill about 12 o'clock, reached right back and got me a pole. Went to the hard one, got me a hook, placed that line right on that hook. Says you've been fishing all the time, I'm a going fishing too. I bet your life, your loving wife, catch more fishing.
Start the new year with a new Toyota. With a free 5-year service plan, warranty, WAF checks and AA road service, plus $500 of accessories. Toyota, New Zealand's most talented range.
Don't miss out. This Easter you can run the AUT Queen Street Golden Mile. Run in the footsteps of champions and set your own mile record. The AUT Queen Street Golden Mile. Entries online close soon. Limited numbers, first come, first served.
Welcome back to the North Shore Event Centre. The crowd entertained here at halftime, enjoying some of that entertainment. We've got some Indians as well in the crowd. I'm liking some of the headgear here. The Breakers leading 60-50 at the split over the Tigers. Dennis Katsanos with Tall Black, Casey Frank. And Casey, this game has been played at such a frenetic pace. It's unbelievable.
Well, leave the defenses at home because this is all offense tonight. Two teams pushing the ball up and down the court. Counter-attack, counter-attack. Neither team is satisfied to settle for the half-court offense. They want to push the ball, they want to run, and they're scoring in transition.
Well, Casey, if we do have a look at the highlights from the first half, the Breakers starting explosively, in particular through Thomas Abercrombie. He was good to go.
He was. He's leaping at full ability right now, throwing the ball in the air, and he'll just go up and grab it. Cedric Jackson was doing a fantastic job of finding it.
Yeah, and the Breakers are very, very happy to get Daryl Corletto in the mix as well. Also, Cedric Jackson, again, we see Thomas Abercrombie, another dunk from him, and also Corey Webster, very effective in this first half too.
Yeah, you couldn't complain about the offense for either team. They're just doing such a job attacking. Mika Makona, unfortunately, just landing a little tweaky on that ankle there, giving up the dunk to Chris Goulding, and not a sight to see for the Breakers, but it didn't stop the offense at all. Chris, really impressive seeing Corey Webster come off the bench and scoring the way he has been. Just what a great job, especially with Cedric Jackson sitting there in foul trouble.
Well, his career best is 14, and I've got a feeling Corey Webster's going to surpass that tonight. After Vakona's injury, naturally, the Tigers are going a little bit of a run, but the stronger finisher of the two was the Breakers in terms of coming into the half.
Well, Chris Goulding really exploded for the Tigers there, really got it going offensively, but the Breakers sort of shared the load offensively, got it around a little bit. They've got 3 guys in double figures right now, and a lot of guys, even Ruben Turangi coming off, the young fella, just a developmental player getting a bucket in there.
Casey, in terms of the stats, nothing highly visible there except for if you knew the turnover count for the Melbourne Tigers last game, it was 17 all up. Breakers scored 26 points on that. Tonight it's just that 5 at the split, so that's something they would have worked on very hard at training this week to get that number down, because that was the difference for the Breakers last week.
Well, the Tigers probably worked on it all week long, but it still doesn't matter. They've given up too many points off on the defensive end of the basketball, so they've taken away those easy opportunities on the turnover, but they haven't stopped the Breakers from running on misses and on rebounds. When they corral the rebound, they're really doing a good job of going from offense to defense in a very quick pace.
Well, Casey, there was a bit of a write-up in the paper about Thomas Abercrombie, some low-scoring numbers the last couple of games, 2 from 18, in fact. Tonight, I don't think they could be writing those sort of articles.
Well, if you're not shooting the ball very well, you know how do you fix that? Just dunk it over and over again. And then everybody will be talking about your shooting percentage after that. So he's come out, he's played very well. That was a fantastic, amazing block that he had on there, showing his hang time up in the air, not just on the dunks, but on the defensive end as well.
Could no one see Thomas Abercrombie repeating that move over and over again? It was great for the fans, though. They would have absolutely loved them seeing him do that. And, of course, Twitter, the two main things were Mika Vakona and, of course, Thomas Abercrombie. And I like this. Zorba45 must be a fellow Greek of mine here, saying Thomas Abercrombie soaring high tonight.
Soaring high. He is out there and above. He might have got some fans down there on the bottom pushing him up a little bit higher than normal. But I know there's something in the water because he's found his leaping ability back. And why not just throw it up to him again? I want to see a couple more lobs.
I think we might this evening. In terms of the Melbourne Tigers, Chris Goulding, we touched on him right at the start. He's been firing for this team. He's been firing not only offensively, but really getting under the Breakers' skin as well.
Well, Chris Goulding looks like he's come out with a chip on his shoulder tonight. He is out there playing very hard. He's out there emotionally getting into guys. He's kind of niggly. He's out there banging a little bit, playing the offense, selling things to the officials. And I really like the enthusiasm for the game he's showing tonight. Offensively, he's been very tough to contain.
He reminds me of a Melbourne version of Dylan Boucher. He just anything he can do to offset the opposition from their natural playing game, he's willing to do it.
Well, he's making an effort to go out there and get in some heads. He's definitely trying to do it. I don't know how successful he's going to be at it as the game goes on, but I think in the early going, in the first half, certainly he's got a little bit into driving the bus.
And Casey, the update with Mika Vakona, he's done his right angle. He should be okay for next week. He won't be featuring again tonight. And as you touched on in commentary, though, it is very, very surprising to see someone of Mika Vakona's stature to be carried off the court. If someone said to me, what's your pain threshold, a 10 would be a little nick on my finger, whereas for Mika Vakona it would be nothing. So it must be quite significant for him to be carried off.
Anytime Mika Vakona goes to the bench with an injury, you know it's very serious. You know it's something that he can't play through, because if he had even the slightest ability to play through something, he would. And to come down on that ankle, you see it right away. He's still grasping for the ball, even though he's in pain. Happened right off the bat. He goes to the ground. He's screaming in pain at the same time he's grabbing the basketball. And that just belies what kind of person he is, what kind of competitor he is. And when I saw him have to have help, when he couldn't go off under his own power, that's when I knew it was pretty serious.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we wish him a speedy recovery. I'll never forget that game 2 against Perth, where no one expected him to play, and he came out and there he was, a warrior, and turned the whole game around.
Well, that's one thing the Breakers don't have to worry about right now. With so many games in hand, they have the ability to rest whoever they need to rest. They don't have to get the win. While they want to come in playing well, being healthy is the most important thing at this time of year.
Casey, fouls obviously will play a part in the second half as well, won't they?
Well, the Tigers are coming out and they're going hard. They want the win. They're down 10. They haven't been able to get it going, but I'm sure they're going to see a little bit more defensive effort.
Well, at the split, it's the Breakers ahead by 10, 60-50. Will the Tigers get back into the game, or will the Breakers pull away with it? Find out after the break.
Versus Bulldogs. Tonight, Sky Sport 1.
I've been waiting for this moment all my life, but it's not quite right.
Whoa, I've just seen who sent the first text. It was a Vodafone guy back in '99. They were also first with Pix, roaming, prepaid, iPhones, and now 4G. This is the network the best smartphones are made for. It's the future.
4G is live. Another first on New Zealand's leading network.
With Open Polytechnic, you can live your life and create a new one. So take control and make your future.
Castle Rocks Hut, 1974. Hideaway Hut, 1890. Beeley Spur Hut, 1925. New Zealand's humble huts have given us shelter for generations, from those who endure the harsh life of the high country to those who answer the weekend call of the wild. After protecting us from the elements, Dulux and the Department of Conservation are doing the same for the huts. To preserve them for future generations, they're using Dulux Weather Shield. Developed and tested in the harshest New Zealand conditions, it's the perfect paint to protect our place and keep it looking good. It's your place too, so you can lend a hand. You can choose the next hut, pick the colours, or pick up a brush. So to get involved, get online.
What's the one thing that would make your life instantly better?
Want a new smartphone? Need help paying the rent? Like a weekend away?
With ZM's Fix My Life, you choose it and you win it.
Listen at 7:20am and 5:20pm as we make magic happen. ZM.
Don't miss out. This Easter you can run the AUT Queen Street Golden Mile. Run in the footsteps of champions and set your own mile record. The AUT Queen Street Golden Mile. Entries online close soon. Limited numbers, first come, first served.
Come down to Repco for great Easter specials. Castrol Magnatec oil with bonus Repco oil filter for just $42.99. JVC combo, alone $99. Repco Easter specials. Don't miss out.
In this game, you have to trust your luck and accept where the chips will fall. Because an advantage in engineering is overcome by daring. 2013 F1 Rolex Australian Grand Prix, live Sky Sport 2.
The kids are loving it at the moment. At half-time at the North Shore Event Centre. It's great to see the fans are sold out as well. And this is our Starship Zone family. The Partridges from Taranaki. Samuel, 10-year-old patient, as Juliet is his mother. Linda, me, and his grandmother. Also Adam Phillips, 17 years old, from Greytown. Also a patient at Starship Hospital who do such a great job. And it's great to see them. And we have a family every week or two join us at the North Shore Event Centre, all vector to take in the excitement and take time out from why they are in Auckland.
Well, last week, this is where the Tigers were able to come back, claw back into the basketball game, even though they were down 20 at the half. Be interesting to see if the Tigers have that same kind of enthusiasm for the game tonight, if they're able to overcome the Kuroda atmosphere, this excited Breaker crowd, and not only that, but the way the Breakers have been playing.
Yeah, leading into the break last week, the Breakers thrashed the Tigers 23-5 in a big run. And then about this time in the second half of the Tigers, Melbourne outscored the Breakers 26-7. Big swings of momentum in that game. We're underway in the third quarter. The crowd are into it. To shoot. Pledger pulls down the board.
Alex Pledger pretty fortunate. It looked like he got his hand in on Alan Ballinger's arm, but didn't see it than any of the officials. And lucky to get away with that foul.
Abercrombie drives, hangs, puts it up and in. Tom Abercrombie with a strong move.
No arc on that shot whatsoever, but he didn't need it. Just laser-like straight at the rim, still gets in the basket.
If you're a Breakers fan, you like the look of Tom Abercrombie taking it strong to the hole. Goulding. Is he feeling it still? Too strong. And that is on Alex Pledger, and that will be number 3, trying to box out Matty Burston.
Well, the big fellas for the Breakers are going to have to be a little bit more, just not give away those fouls for free like they are right now. They have to know that there's not many guys behind them. They don't have the depth in the for the big players right now, so you can't get a foul like that wrapped up Burston's arms underneath the rim. Easy foul to call.
Ballinger quickly off the top of the possession. No good, and Jackson, who had 5 assists in about 5 seconds in the first half before he got into foul trouble. I think 3 of them went to Abercrombie. There's the ball now into Boucher's playing the post. Spins, quick move, reverse. Wow, Dylan Boucher fooled everybody.
Did he fool everybody, or just no one expect him to actually try and make a post move?
Touche.
They just left him by himself on the block with the basketball. They said, well, I might as well shoot it.
64-50. It's high scoring at the North Shore Event Centre. Doesn't feel that way with the amount of fouls that were called in the first half, but they have been filling it up, these two teams, as Goulding bricks another one. And then the Tigers turn it over. Corletto rifles the pass to Boucher, almost travels, holds his pivot foot. Jackson resets.
Well, good transition defense from the Tigers. Probably the best defensive transition they played all night.
Corletto gives it back to Jackson, 4 to shoot. Jackson right into Burston, off the glass, and then 2 points for Cedric Jackson.
Well, he'd be looking to get off a little bit here in the second half. He only had 4 points in the first half and really limited playing time due to those 3 fouls, so he's going to be fresh and ready to go here in the second.
Right into the eye of the Tigers' defense is Tomlinson. Pledger, I just want to bet. Foul on Alan Ballinger, trying to get the rebound. Pledger.
Man, just a little too aggressive off the basketball right now when players are really just trying to get their last hand in there, swipe at the basketball when possession's had. And these fouls, you don't want to get fouled 75 feet away from the basket. Contain them, let the game get some kind of flow. Here we see that Dylan Boucher move, gives a little fake handoff. Tommy Greer went for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Well, Dylan Boucher will turn into a corporate salesman for the Breakers, selling tables, and he'll be able to sell people that move all night long when he recollects the memories of this game as we have a timeout on the floor.
You're the guy, you go with something, you rotate behind you. When he's got on a goal, you know he's coming to it. Go ahead and keep sitting on. Tell us, guys, what's good job with the offense. This one, come run that same play. If it's zone, go run that same play. We're going here. Great teamwork.
Well, Andre Lamanis trying to draw a few of those plays up, looking for that corner action where they've been pretty successful tonight. The Breakers have found a lot of opportunities to drive to the basket and draw guys off that corner shooter. And once again, Dylan Boucher being honored for his time here with the team. These two guys, they bring this family brings that sign here pretty much every week.
It's great. It's great to see. Also, Andrew Dewhurst, the court announcer, just asked them what they like about Dylan Boucher, and one of the kids said, great defense. That's what you want to hear from kids, Casey Frank.
Yeah, I like lies.
You cannot call kids liars on TV.
What do kids know about defense?
You cannot do that.
Kids don't know anything about defense. They don't care about defense.
Yeah, come on. They appreciate the dark arts of Dylan Boucher's defense.
He must have paid him to say that. There's no kid who's coming to a basketball game saying, I cannot wait to see some defense tonight.
Come on. They appreciate the quick hands, the supple moves, the nuances of his game. He's trapped in the baseline and throws it off Lucas Walker's legs.
Breakers looking to get a little bit more out of the on-ball action. Didn't really need to get a lot out of it in the first half, but trying to get the ball into Cedric Jackson's hands and have him be a creator.
What is that called? I believe that is one of those dark elbows that we were talking about. Dylan Boucher picks up the foul, and I think that's number 3 on him. It is.
But Dylan Boucher scopes to set the screen away quickly, but kept on moving after he got his body on Chris Goulding, and the officiating crew was very tight with the contact away from the basketball tonight, and neither team so far has done a good job of adjusting to it.
66-50 though, the Breakers enjoying a big lead at the moment in the third quarter. Walker, nice move from Lucas Walker.
Dribbles to the left, but finishes at the right with a little bit of a double pump over Cedric Jackson.
That is pretty, and Jackson gets the ball back. Oh, he almost fired it. And it ends up in Pledger's hands. He almost fired the Boucher. Pledger just enjoying the high differential again against a shorter team.
I wonder if that one goes into the books as a ricochet assist, because not quite where it meant to go, but it all's good that ends well.
You should get that. You fire that in the direction. You should pick up half an assist at least.
Well, he wanted somebody to catch it and score.
Goulding. Pledger has another rebound. That is number 9 to go along with his 14 points. Alex Pledger looking for another double-double. He had one on Sunday against the Tigers. Abercrombie pulls up. That drops over Lucas Walker.
Well, that one dribble, two dribble shot right into rhythm looks very good for Thomas Abercrombie right now, and he is really elevating to a high level above the defense when he shoots it.
Forget the 2 of 18 over the last 2 games. He's 6 of 8 with 15. Walker shoots it over Boucher. And Goulding has it. No, ripped away by Cedric Jackson.
Smart move by Goulding, not wanting to get his 4th foul, just pulls his hands out of it.
Tried the hesitation, put it up. Pledger gets rebound number 10, but blows the dunk. But Abercrombie is there to clean it up.
Well, how about the hunger of this Breakers team right now? 5 Tigers underneath the basket, but Thomas Abercrombie comes away with the offensive rebound after the missed dunk. And right now, the Tigers just don't seem to want it as bad as the Breakers, and now they're already down 20 points very quickly in the third quarter.
Breakers, yeah, enjoying a 12-2 run at the moment to start the third quarter. Jackson has just picked up foul number 4. And I believe that's on Corletto. And it is, so that saves the Breakers a little bit. That'll be Corletto's 2nd.
Now, how quickly these scoring runs come from the Breakers is very surprising. I mean, it seems like just moments ago we were in a tighter game, but they've been able to put points on the board in such quick fashion that you almost can't tell it's a 20-point ball game.
It doesn't feel like it, you're right. That is the foul situation for the Breakers. 3 Breakers on, 3 fouls. 2 Tigers on 3 fouls with the kick ball. So we reset the shot clock to 14. 5:08 in the third quarter. Tigers with possession. In a 20-point hole at the moment. No Johnny Flynn. Liam Rush's beard and himself missed that jump shot.
The Tigers are really rushing their offense now, trying to get it all back at once. They need to stay patient, really work it in the half court and try to attack and work this Breaker defense.
Good defense by the Tigers, forcing Abercrombie into that turnover. Tomlinson maybe have over-dribbled a little bit, and Pledger pokes it away, and the Tigers will get it back.
Well, he was trying to predetermine what he was going to do with the basketball instead of just reacting to the defense. And when he was looking ahead, trying to pick it up, just lost the handle. Is fortunate to be able to regain control and can maintain possession for the Tigers.
Corletto takes a seat. C.J. Bruton is in the game, and Lucas Walker drains a jump shot.
Very smooth with the 17-footer there. Off the screen, catches it in rhythm, and made it look easy.
Walker has 6. Seth Scott's in the game. Webster's also there. Carves it up through the key and gets the 2.
Yeah, wow. Just a little aggressive, gets his hands in, but I want to talk about that cut by Corey Webster after passing the basketball. Does a good job of expecting the basketball, even though he doesn't know if he's going to get it. Leon Henry gives him a bit of a no-look, too, and the strong basket cut, a scoring cut, which is what you always want to do, even if it's not going to be a scoring opportunity.
Henry picks up his 3rd. Both these teams have to adjust with the way that the referees are calling the contact in the third quarter. Goulding drives strong, blocked by... Oh, that's a foul, is it? Come on. That was just a good block.
Another one on Leon Henry, saying he got a bit of the head along with the basketball. It looked like a fantastic block of the basketball, but might have got a little bit of a skull to go with it. And there you see it. Yeah, a lot of that left arm after he got the clean block. And Chris Goulding explosively attacking the basket. Goes right around Corey Webster and gets to the rim very quickly. Couldn't get the finish, but gets a trip to the line.
I just want to see some basketball. Could you guys stop fouling, please?
Everybody loves to see fouls. Free throws are the best part of it.
Goulding makes the first. He's got 13. 31% at the moment, 4 of 13 from the floor. 1 of 6 from deep, but he hasn't missed at the free throw line.
That's Chris Goulding's 17th point of the night and coming out and picking up where he left off in the first half.
Webster, 4 on the shot clock. Abercrombie just rises up and drills a three-pointer.
Corey Webster stays alert on the drive, didn't have a shot, but Thomas Abercrombie finding the range and telling everybody shooting slump. What shooting slump?
Seth Scott with a tough move. Seth Scott is a wily veteran import. And here's some nice touches around the rim.
Yeah, what a combination of soft shooting touch, the ability to put the ball on the floor, and a bit of both to go with it as well.
Webster. Some big minutes off the bench the last couple of games. Pledger drives hard. Soft touch off the glass. That is pretty from the big man.
It really is. Tough finish by a 7-footer.
Walker gets to the cup, and that is number 4 on Pledger. A tough catch from Lucas Walker. He'll go to the line. The crowd aren't enjoying this at all. Neither is Lamanis.
You cannot knock the hustle from Alex Pledger, finishing on one end of the basket, beating all his teammates down to play defense on the other. Here we see the offensive play, absorbing the contact, putting it in, hustles all the way back to contest the shot, but you have to know the situation of the game. You're the only big man on the court. You're challenging that shot when you're up 20 points. You don't need to. Just give up the layup, stay in the basketball game, stay with 3 fouls. Now as it is, he's got 4, and his 16 points and defensive presence goes to the bench, enabling the Tigers to get back into it.
It's a depleted front line for the Breakers tonight. No Will Hudson, still out with that knee injury. Mika Vakona will not come back with that ankle injury he sustained in the first quarter. And Alex Pledger takes a seat with 4 personal fouls in the third quarter, but they do enjoy an 18-point lead, 78-60. Lucas Walker fouls Dylan Boucher on the baseline drive.
And surprisingly, only the second team foul for the Melbourne Tigers. Not being quite as physical as they were in the first half. There we see Mika Vakona, iced up, sitting there on the bench. Looks like he's really enjoying it. Maybe not so much.
I don't think he is. Webster. Oh, it's all the tricks in the bag tonight for Corey Webster. And Corey Webster has 18. His previous career high was 14. That was last Sunday against these Tigers. Goulding, pull up. It's a 2. It's nothing. Rush. No good. Bruton tried to track it down, but just not there quick enough. So the Tigers will have the ball.
A good job on the offensive glass, but I was really impressed by Thomas Abercrombie's challenge there. He jumped up to try and block that shot. Really disturbed it, kept it from going in.
Breakers still shooting at a high percentage. 59 points! And Lucas Walker skies to pull it down.
Is there a trampoline on that part of the court? Because there has been lob after lob after lob there. This time, Lucas Walker going to the 13th floor, dropping off everybody else at 12.
My, what a dunk. That was a power alley-oop. Goulding dunks it himself. 2 straight dunks for the Tigers.
Chris Goulding getting out ahead of the break and a heads-up pass to get it to him.
This is much better than foul shots, Casey.
Yeah, slightly.
42% now. I was just about to talk about shooting percentages. Those are high percentage shots there by the Tigers. Scott saves it. Tomlinson has it. They tried an alley-oop play on Sunday to Lucas Walker, or it might have been Rush, and it just went way over his head, and that was on point. Turnover. Webster, left hand, gives it to Abercrombie. And Chris Goulding, I love his reaction every time the whistle is blown on him. That is number 4. He will take a seat. Maybe. Yep, he takes a seat. Chris Ansted's seen enough.
Chris Goulding, a lot of hustle there. Look at that. Eye contact, sees the pass. Lucas Walker grabbing it outside the box there. And he gave a dunk, so he received a dunk right after that.
I like the scissor kick on the legs. Nice pass from Webster.
He gets it up there. He's trying to say it's all ball, a little bit of body contact to go along with it. Trying to convince the officials, but they're not going for it. And Chris Goulding trying to be everywhere on the court. 19 points, but not enough as the Breakers pulling away with a 16-point lead.
Tom Abercrombie at the line, 19 points on 8 of 10 shooting for him tonight.
We should talk about how poorly he shoots more often.
He was terrible the last 2 games. How's that? Is that good?
2 for 17 to 8 for 10. Bounce right back. Nothing to worry about. He shoots too many jumpers to stay in the shooting game.
He was 2 for 18, Casey.
It's good for you. Can't make them all. See?
He was making his foul shots last week, though.
Thomas Abercrombie. Athleticism. Lucas Walker, a little bit of athleticism himself.
Ruben Tarangi will check back in. The development player getting some court time tonight. A lot of people thought the development players will get a lot of court time considering the Breakers had signed up the 1 seed, but they want to keep the momentum going. As luck would have it, bad luck that is in the injury front. They're forced into it with foul trouble and an injury to Mika Vakona's ankle. Breakers lead is 17. 5 to shoot. Rush gets a double team, fade away. Benny Lewis tracks down the rebound and they get a fresh 24. Another almost block and a foul called on Leon Henry. He walks straight to the bench, walks back out.
I'm starting to get the feeling that the players don't agree with some of these whistles. There we see Leon Henry. A little bit of ball, a little bit of hand. Looks like a pretty clean block to me.
You gotta let him have that.
Well, I always said that the hand was part of the ball. That's what I always heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but I always try to sell the refs on that one. But Leon Henry, good timing, tried to meet him at the rim, but just couldn't get the benefit of the doubt from the official. And Seth Scott, really nice to see him powering through this back injury tonight. Still has a little bit of lift in there to go up and above the rim, and came out very strong. Has slowed down a little bit since then, but still out there grinding through it. Right, doesn't want the ball. It's wet. Give me a towel. Don't give me that wet basketball.
Not that towel. They want another ball.
Oh, switch it up. Oh, this could change everything. Switch the basketball up in the middle of the game. I'd never like to see that as a player.
It's like they had in the first test of the basin today. I think the ball was about 24-ish overs old. They didn't like it. The Black Caps, I don't think it was moving enough in the air, so they wanted another one. They brought out the suitcase.
You've got to have them in the suitcase. Got to protect those balls.
Scott missed the first. Never a truer word spoken, Casey. (81-65). Breakers in control. 30 seconds and under to go in this third quarter.
Big couple of possessions for the Tigers. They really need to get a stop and a bucket to give themselves some momentum going into the fourth.
Corletto. Foucher. Ball movement from the Breakers is nice, crisp. Bruder misses the weak side three. And the reversal in 10 seconds now for the Tigers. Tomlinson drives at Webster, turns it over. He's got a natural one. Bruton, pull up, front of the rim, gets another shot. To end the quarter, no good. 2 straight shots missed by CJ, 3 straight, actually. And CJ Bruton gets a towel chucked at his face. Frustrating end for him and the Breakers, but they are in control, 81-65 after 3.
And the Tigers not completely out of touch yet. 15 points in the game, and they do have the ability to put points on the board in a quick manner. As we saw last week, they also have the ability to shut down the Breakers and keep them from scoring. But right now, they're going to have to do a better job in the transition defense and really try and slow the basketball up before it gets to half court. At the same time, they're going to score buckets in a hurry. Don't know if they have the answers to do both those things at the same time.
Passing lanes, we've got to have a hand on shooters, we've got to box out. Then we run. We need some quick ones in transition. Once we come up with the ball, we're going to move. Transition looks good. We want to...
Well, Chris Anstey, not a fan of the microphone. He wants that one a little bit further away. And now he's having a couple words as well. So tight mix in there in the huddle. The Tigers want to keep things private.
I think we might need a new microphone as well. Chris Hansen just delivered one of those baseball mitt hands straight to the microphone and it went flying off. I think it's on the court.
Sound crew having trouble finding the microphone right now. Not quite sure where it ended up.
It flew to half court. That's how hard he hit it.
I'm giving you one more shot. Who's going? One more shot.
Keep the anger contained, big fella. Don't have to take it out on the mic.
We've been having mic problems all night. And that's just added to it.
We're good. Tell ball here. You won't get any help from the crowd. You won't get any help. See if you can find the joker. Let's just run secondary reverse.
Here we see some of those highlights from the quarter. A lot of tough physical defense around the basketball. Dylan Boucher with a here I am, there I'm not. Cedric Jackson getting back on the board for the first time in the second half, and Chris Anstey starting to boil over. Not quite completely yet, but Thomas Abercrombie showing the full repertoire tonight with the dunks, the mid-range game. Chris Goulding finding Lucas Walker with the slamma jamma. Right back at you. Favorite return, he gets one of his own on the fast break.
And here's Chris Anstey, frustrated at our microphone, sends it out. Throws some expletives at poor Steve, who was just doing his job. And setting the tone is Chris Anstey for the final 10 minutes for his Melbourne Tigers.
He does not want that microphone in his eye line.
Well, that's what trying to get into the playoffs will do to a coach down the stretch. They have 3 games after this one to the Melbourne Tigers. 2 against Cairns and 1 against Townsville coming up. We're underway in the 4th. Ruben Tarangi with the corner 3. That's good. Ruben Tarangi off the bench. 2 threes for him.
And this guy is a shooter. He shot a fantastic percentage from the three-point line in the New Zealand Basketball League last season, shooting nearly 45, right around 45%. So if he has an open look, he has the ability to knock it down, in particular from the corners.
What a great young core of talent coming through with New Zealand. We've got Rob Lowe and Stephen Adams overseas, playing in excellent programs. Got Isaac Fotu as well, playing as a freshman as the Tigers turn the ball over. That is turnover number 10 for them, just 3 for the Breakers tonight. And that really is indicative of the fact that they don't have Johnny Flynn and not a lot of pressure at the point.
Well, ball handling is of premium importance when you play the New Zealand Breakers and their full court pressure. And this is a game that you don't want to come into without all your ball handlers ready to go and healthy.
Tarangi saves it. 8 on the shot clock. Abercrombie, full of confidence tonight. That doesn't drop it. Ruben Tarangi is there. Gets it up and in. And it's an unsportsmanlike foul as well.
Unsportsmanlike. I don't know exactly why that's an unsportsmanlike. I'm not sure exactly what is it about that. He calls a flagrant foul, so not only he gets the bucket, they get the free throw. They also have after that. Here we see a bit of Ruben Tarangi from one corner. He'll hit that one. Toss it to him in the other corner, and he'll have that one as well. And then to finish it off, gets the N1 here off the offensive rebound, just powers through Liam Rush too quick. Liam Rush gets a hand, and I mean, come on, let him play some basketball.
That is tough. I mean, sure, he didn't go for the ball, but it's not like he tried to tunnel him, take his legs out from under him. It wasn't a sinister unsportsmanlike foul.
Very hard done by. He got caught behind, he reached to try and foul him. That makes it pretty difficult.
You can understand the frustration levels of Chris Anstey right now must be incredibly high. The turnover by the Breakers to Benny Lewis, who gets a 2-handed flush himself. Just like his dad.
Dunks galore out here tonight. Benny Lewis changing ends in a hurry. Lucas Walker with a nice bounce pass to find him.
How many dunks tonight, Casey? We've seen 8?
I'm going to say at least 8.
Abercrombie for 3. Tarangi with another offensive rebound. A nice night for him off the bench. 9 points, 2 rebounds, and both at the offensive end. Mismatch. Jackson intercepts Scott. Nice D. Puts it up for Abercrombie. What a pass!
What a pass, what a finish. He caught that after it hit the rim, was still able to finish it above the rim. Fantastic look, fantastic finish.
Assist number 8 for Cedric Jackson. Scott tucked to the hole and in. Loses the headband, and Tarangi will pick up the personal foul. Well, Scott will go to the line.
Good interior passing there. There we see the pass to Thomas Abercrombie. Just that weak side cut against the zone has just been murdering the Tigers tonight. And Cedric Jackson never takes his eyes off the cutters, always trying to get that assist on the other end. Seth Scott, the recipient of the ball, pretty close to the rim, wipes his hand off on the ref shirt. A bit too wet. Says, no, just let me use this for a second here.
Breakers still with that 20-point lead. Scott makes it 19. And Seth Scott has come off the bench tonight, 12 points, working his way back from that back injury, like Casey said. Backdoor cut to the hoop by Darryl Corletto. And guess who passed it to him? It was Dylan Boucher.
They've got a little bit of ESP on that backdoor cut. Really loves to drop it off on the bounce pass.
Scott looking for a cutter himself, finds Walker. Nice play from the Melbourne Tigers.
Man, how did he get that through the defense? Looked like there was no chance. Somehow Lucas Walker stuck his mitts out, pulled it in, and finishes the basketball.
Breakers looking to crack 100 again. Consecutive nights at the North Shore Event Centre. They have 91 with 7:15 to go. Jackson to Boucher all alone. He faked out no one.
That's a clever series of passes there. Dylan Boucher through the legs, drop off to Cedric Jackson. Cedric Jackson drops it off to return the favor, and Dylan Boucher finishes with a pretty layup.
Here's one of the best passes in the league for some time, is Seth Scott. Can't get it. And Tommy Greer will pick up the foul over the top of Tom Abercrombie. And the Breakers enjoying this 21-point lead, Casey.
Yeah, if these fouls keep on going against the Tigers, they might run out of players. A lot of guys on 3 fouls now. They've got 3 players on 3, 1 on 4, and 3 on 2. So equal opportunity. Everybody gets fouls tonight at the North Shore Event Center. You better watch out. I think they're going to call one on you soon.
Jackson upstairs to Pledger this time.
I think Auckland has been renamed from the City of Sales to Lob City tonight. They have temporarily taken that moniker from the Los Angeles Clippers because there are lobs galore between both teams.
It's not quite Chris Paul with DeAndre Jordan during the middle of the week, but it was just an insane dunk. Brandon Knight feeling the effects of that one. You haven't seen it, YouTube it. It's Greer. Misses the shot. Pledger pulls down a board as Walker and Jackson pick themselves up off the court.
Lucas Walker aggressively going after the offensive glass, and here we see it. Cedric Jackson off balance, tosses it up. Don't know if I can call that a dunk, though. Alex Pledger just lays that one up, being nice to it. He's had tough luck on the dunk attempts tonight, so maybe he didn't want to take away Cedric Jackson's assist there, but excellent vision, excellent finish. Catches it high, finishes high. Easy 2 points. The Breakers just dissecting this Melbourne Tiger defense tonight.
Bruton to Pledger, thought about it, gives it to Tarangi. 7 on the shot clock. Somebody's going to shoot it. Why not CJ Bruton? And whose ball will it be? It will be the Breakers' ball. As Tomlinson and Abercrombie fought for it as it went out of bounds.
Well, heads-up play by both teams there. Tommy Greer tried to toss it off. Tomlinson, tried to throw it off his feet there. Couldn't quite get it. Thomas Abercrombie able to divert it. Ball hits out of bounds. Stays Breaker possession.
Abercrombie. Oh, Benny Lewis met him rim high and picks up the personal foul. Wow, those are 2 leapers.
The seas parted for Thomas Abercrombie. There was a lot of space there, and Benny Lewis was having none of it. Just dribbles around Seth Scott with ease, goes up to finish, and Benny Lewis is not going to get dunked on. Smacks the arm of Thomas Abercrombie, and with this huge lead, even though there's not a lot of bodies on the bench for the Breakers, might want to think about resting some of those starters, making sure nothing boils over. Don't want to see anybody else get hurt. Already lost Mick Vakona for some type of period of time. Still got a fair few starters out there for the Breakers with this 24-point lead with just 5.5 to go.
Abercrombie makes the second, and he has 24 for the game. This is very much like 2012 Tom Abercrombie, last season's version. He's back in form. Ruben Tarangi is checked out of the game. Now Henry is in. Ruben Tarangi, a nice cameo. And Jackson will go up and lay it in for an easy bucket.
Just defensive pressure harassing the Melbourne Tiger ball handlers, even up with this great lead.
Turnover count 12-4. And the Tigers will have it back. The Breakers enjoying just 4 turnovers tonight. 99-72 as Tom Abercrombie takes a seat with that 24-point haul. 3 rebounds, a block, and a steal. Lewis rises up, misses. Breakers will have it.
Thomas Abercrombie certainly found that shooting stroke. Gets a well-deserved rest here for probably the last 5 minutes of the game. Be unlikely to see him soon. And the Melbourne Tigers also clearing out the bench.
Alistair McDonald will make an appearance shortly. He's come in because Johnny Flynn is out. Got an inkling we might see McDonald tonight. Pledger and Burston finally caught. And Alex Pledger will go to the free throw line again. He has 20 points to go along with 12 rebounds. Another double-double for the Chief.
Alex Pledger coming into his own, playing his best basketball of the season. When you want your big fella to play the best basketball of the season. Player of the week last week, making a strong case for it again with 20 points and 12 rebounds. Fantastic effort. Love to see him on the glass as well, not just scoring the basketball. Shooting a great percentage, 8 for 11, 73% from the field, but to get 12 rebounds as well, really dominating the competition at both ends.
Well, the Breakers have locked up spot number 1 in the IINA NBL Championship for 2013. Who will they face in the semi-final, though? Could it be the Sydney Kings? Will it be the Wollongong Hawks? Will it be the Melbourne Tigers? Will it be even the Cairns Taipans? We'll find out within the next week or so. And that game is live Thursday, 28th of March, 7:30 on Sky Sport.
Stay solid on that. Make sure we got our back coverage. Offensively, again, we get it, we go, we push, we run, we flow, no problems at all. Okay.
Hey, let's improve that end out D right now. Everything's been coming off this way, whether it's four-man or the guard. You can plug that up a little more.
Well, guard sit on this side because you're giving your help to the inside. Okay? So you got to get this way on your own. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
5 minutes left, 29-point lead. The New Zealand Breakers almost certainly going to keep this streak alive and bring it into a hostile Perth Wildcats arena next weekend.
What an arena that Perth arena looks like. It is a stunning new venue. The Perth Wildcats would love to hang another banner with a championship on it.
And really, regardless of what has become a pretty dominant Breakers season, they've had a lot of close games within this competition, and they're certainly not walking away with it by any stretch of the imagination. Whoever gets into this final series, all 4 teams are going to have the ability to beat whichever team they face on any given night.
It is by no means a given. I mean, there are 2 teams with excellent records in the Wildcats and the Breakers, but there are 5 teams battling for 2 spots in the playoffs. And it is a healthy competition, albeit their records aren't over that magical 50% win-loss ratio. As Ty Webster checks in the game for Cedric Jackson. And that was number 5 on him, on Cedric Jackson. He'll take a seat, foul number 5. And because Leon Henry has also picked up foul number 5 previously. In fact, I'm going to correct myself there. It is not foul number 5 on Cedric Jackson, it's just a sub. So the Webster brothers in the game. Walker gives it out. McDonald. With the shot clock expiring, the Breakers' hand just loosened that up.
Allison McDonald comes off trying to get a little benefit of the doubt from the officials. Don't think so. Don't think anybody's going to be giving you any calls tonight, young fella.
Webster with McDonald on him. Burston comes over the help. The reverse is good from Corey Webster. He has 20. 8 of 10 from the floor.
And that young core of the Breakers right now, all those guys in their mid-20s, all over 20 points on the night, and really carrying the offensive load for them.
It is really quite a feat to score over 100 points in a 40-minute game. As Walker blows the left-hand layup, unfortunately for the Tigers. Breakers are going to do it on successive nights at the North Shore Event Centre. Round 22 and round 23. Dylan Boucher front rims the 3, and the bench of the Breakers really wanted it. It is his last game at the NSEC.
I've seen him shoot 3s before, and I've actually seen him make a few as well, so it's possible it's going to go in, although it might not be probable.
Walker harassed by Boucher. Goulding's in the game, gives it to McDonald. 4 to shoot. Gives it to Burston. Boucher fouls him with 1 on the shot clock. As Josh blocks him, we'll check in the game for the Breakers.
Josh blocks him, another guy who struggled with a lot of injuries earlier in the season, wasn't able to play until almost halfway through the season as a developmental player, but Still there putting in the work and getting the opportunity tonight. All the young fellows in the Breakers looking like they're getting a little bit of a run, but not enough guys in uniform to take out all the starters.
103 to 73, 30-point advantage. The Breakers have just poured it on. Melbourne have scored just 23 points in the second half.
Well, the real key here now for the Melbourne Tigers is their ability to regroup and reload in a short amount of time, because they still have a playoff lives ahead of them. But man, what a tough pill to swallow coming down the stretch, fighting for your playoff life and losing by this many points.
Webster fires it to Josh Bloxham, gives it to Pledger for a two-handed dunk.
And it is becoming a highlight show tonight. Josh Bloxham just tiptoeing on the sideline, keeps himself in bounds and finds Alex Pledger streaking down the lane for a power slam.
22 for Pledger. Walker. Boucher. Leading the Breakers, Dylan Boucher. Ty Webster. Throws it away, and here comes Alistair McDonald the other way with Bloxham on him. Foul on the floor before McDonald could get the shot away. No, indeed, he will shoot two. Continuation, his friend, is Bloxham. Almost stepped on the end line, but found the streaking Alex Pledger with the flush.
Alex Pledger putting pressure on the rim as we see Dylan Boucher checking out of the North Shore Event Center for the last time in his career. And he gets a well-deserved round of applause.
And even Mickey Vakona stood up with the gimpy ankle and all and gave him some love. It's Dylan Boucher. What a career he has had at the Breakers. He is feeling the love at the moment as the crowd responds. I mean, not just for the Breakers as well, for the Auckland Stars. He's also played the Tall Blacks here. Who can forget 2001, the Oceania qualifying series. The Tall Blacks going to the World Champs in 2002. Webster, feeling it from deep.
The quick shot, Corey Webster doesn't want to spend all his time celebrating Dylan Boucher's career. He still wants to make a little bit of career of his own.
Really is a passing of the gut tonight. It's a nice give and go. Walker to McDonald.
Good use of the on-ball screen. Lucas Walker always rolling hard to the basket to try and finish.
Tarangi. He hits a three. That's 3 for 3 for Ruben Tarangi. They'll make it 4 for 4.
The Breakers only shooting 7 for 21 from the three-point line, because it feels like it's been a parade of threes lately. They are lighting it up from deep, and the Tigers are just struggling to defend the three-point line.
The Breakers will have a bit of a break, around 6 days before they have to head off to Perth. Time to rest up, get some training in, and then they're off to the Perth Arena to play the Wildcats in the final game of their regular seasons, these two teams. And you have to feel as though those two teams may just meet each other in the grand final series as Ty Webster gets in on the scoring action.
These guys coming off the bench are looking pretty skilled and fresh at the moment.
Nice finish from Alistair McDonald, though, with the left hand.
Yeah, does a good job of avoiding the defense of Alex Pledger. Looked like he might have to try and finish with the left, but switches hands in midair, uses a good body control to shield the defender.
They're on their feet. Are the Breakers fans as Alex Pledger misses and Goulding pulls down the board, poked away by Tarangi. 113 points. The Breakers have just poured it on the Melbourne Tigers without Johnny Flynn, needing a win tonight to give themselves a playoff hope, and Bloxham has it blocked out of bounds by Chris Goulding.
Chris Goulding shot that out like a rocket. Bloxham could do nothing but smile about it, but even though he got the turnover, came back, played hard defense, and smacked that ball out of the sky.
Webster travel. Rivets Rangi can't miss.
He is fuego at the moment. The Breakers using up a lot of his shooting ability here with a bit of a blowout. Might want to save a little bit for that Perth game coming up in a couple weeks as Ty Webster gets a foul unnecessarily with 42 seconds left, send him to the line and just prolonging the agony just a little bit longer for the Tigers team.
Breakers have had 74 shots tonight.
That is impressive. I mean,